He suspected someone was snooping around in his county office, so a Jackson County Sheriff's deputy set up a hidden camera.
And what do you know? That camera recorded what that camera has recorded has now upended the race for who should be the next sheriff and cost one of the candidates his county job. Our Fox 5 I-Team reporter Randy Travis has the story and the video. Randy?
Yeah, Deputy Kevin McCook wondered whether he was seeing things. He would leave papers on his desk laid out a certain way, only to find them in a slightly different place when he returned and unlocked his office. Well, the mystery was soon solved. The controversy just beginning.
This has not only been hard on me as a sheriff, this has been hard on my chief deputy and everybody working here.
This was supposed to be a joyful final year for Sheriff Janice Mangum, heading into retirement after more than 35 years with the sheriff's office, a dozen as sheriff. 4 candidates already filed for the Republican nomination next May, including 2 of Mangum's staff. Head of Criminal Investigations, Captain Dale Dillow, and Head of Training, Kevin McCook.
I wasn't endorsing either one of them.
But she was suddenly faced with a decision that would directly impact the campaign, all because of something that happened in this room last month.
I felt like somebody was coming into my office.
According to an audio interview he gave to an outside investigator brought in by the sheriff, McCook said months ago he began noticing items on his desk had been moved when he was away. He even took these pictures before and after, noticed the pen in a different place. McCook eventually switched offices.
And I started to notice it again. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So now I started paying attention.
McCook showed his evidence to Sheriff Mangum, who suggested that he get a camera. So he bought one himself and stashed it right over here somewhere. And then he waited to see what would happen next. It took almost a month. Then one Tuesday night around 9:30, in walked Captain Dillow, McCook's rival in the sheriff's race. He took this picture of McCook's calendar, peeked in one of the drawers, and in less than 2 minutes was gone.
When you're going in my locked office, you know, after hours or whatever, that's a game changer to me.
McCook declined to talk to the Fox 5 I-Team. So did Dillow. The captain texted this apology to Sheriff Mangum shortly after he was caught. I let the devil creep into my mind and let my insecurities take over. I have asked God and my family to forgive me.
I know it looks terrible, but it wasn't for ill intent.
Dillow told investigators he was only trying to understand why McCook spent so much time outside the office. McCook also handles community public speaking events for the sheriff, as well as training. He's not in Dillow's chain of command.
This was not you trying to get any kind of political upper hand.
I know it looks like that, but I swear it wasn't.
Dillow admitted he never took his concerns to the sheriff or McCook's supervisor. He also insisted he only snuck into McCook's office one other time, something McCook said was clearly not true.
100% politically motivated, in your opinion?
Yeah, because it's never happened before, and I've been doing this for years.
Dillow may have apologized privately, but he has yet to mention the controversy on his campaign Facebook page. The latest post is for a golf tournament fundraiser next month. He's still in the race to be the next sheriff.
There's only one person responsible for this.
Once she got the results of the outside investigation, Sheriff Mangum fired Dillow, a member of her command staff, but someone she felt she could no longer trust.
I handled that the way I would have handled anything. It didn't matter that he was running for sheriff or both of them were running for sheriff. That's not why. That should not happen.
And McCook also told the investigator his initial fear was that someone might plant something in his office. Dillow said he didn't take anything and didn't place anything in that office. And because of that, many of his supporters still believe he should be the next sheriff.
Wow. I'm stunned by that. Now, has he apologized to Mr. McCook?
He told the investigator that he tried to apologize to McCook but never got an answer back. McCook said that once he announced that he was running for sheriff, that suddenly they stopped talking. He couldn't have any more relationship with him. So clearly there's some maybe bad blood, just below the surface here, but, only one of them is working at the sheriff's office right now.
Well, when he set up that camera, I'm sure he wasn't expecting to catch what he ended up catching so clearly on video.
Yeah, I mean, you're a sheriff's deputy. You try to get evidence to support a suspicion that you have. He thought someone was sneaking into his office. He didn't think he was going crazy. Although imagine your pen and your paper all moving every time you leave the office. But he got the evidence, presented it to the sheriff, and ultimately the outside investigator filed the report, and the sheriff said she had no other choice but to fire him.
Yeah. No good excuse for it. Randy, thanks.
Thanks, Randy.